Hello everyone, this video I will show you how to use this E16S board that work with the Home Assistant and work with the Case868 server. So this will be very powerful. And in this video I will show you how to use this wall switch and the digital input I use for sensor and use for wall switch. How to configure it and let it become very powerful and work by the different work mode. So you can see here is the board, this is E16S board that have connect with this power distribution box that mainly is Case868 server. And this is A16 and this is E16. But this E16S that include these two board function. So you can see I have used this one server and work for this 16 channel relay output. And this A16 also have 16 channel relay output. And this I have also have 16 channel relay output. So you can see there are many 3 units of 16 channel that totally will have 48 channel relay output. And in Home Assistant, you can see here is the dashboard. Here you can see this is 16 channel for the server output, and this is the A16 channel output for this board. You can see I can turn on and turn off, and all on and all off. And also you can see I have created the home, the 2 floor and the 3 floor, and in different floor and set by the different controller. And you can see this is E16. You can see I can turn on and turn off. So this board can work. And let's look at some hardware details. And you can see this is Case868 E16S that you can see here is output and this is input. But this input have menu control button. You can see here that have 16 channel button. All A series board have digital input and digital output. But this board have this button that will easy for testing and when the switch is broken, so that you can press on off to control the relay output by this menu control button directly. So that will be very useful. And this is the power, and this is the RS485 interface running by the Modbus, and this is ground, and this is analog input. And this time I have used this board that is connected with the Ethernet cable. I'm not using the Wi-Fi. And also you can see this is speak and also have the wireless receive module. So this board you can see I can use by the switch panel. And this switch panel just a momentary switch panel. And you can see here you can install this frame. This different frame have this different color, so you can change. And you can see I have used this network cable work with this switch. That is C85 cable. Actually, you can use any cable. You can see here I have installed for testing the whole 300 meters of the network cable. So when I have connect with my switch, you can see I have used this 6 button switch. I have connect with this 7 line K1 to K6 and Kcom. This is rest not needed to use. And this button, the cable another side, I have connect with this board, E16S board, that is the input. You can see this cable, 300 meters, have connect with this wall switch panel, and this is E16. That will work fine. So let's test. Here we can see these buttons how works. I have set this button for different work mode. So let's test. This is button 1. You can see I can press 1 time. This relay is on. Press again, relay is off. Press relay on, and this is off. So that is for toggling, just change the state of relay. And you can see this is button 2. You can see my finger. I hold on the button, the relay is on. I remove my finger, relay is off. So you can see on, off, on, off, on, off. That is according to my finger. So this means inch mode. So this is used for the motor and for up and down and change the brightness. So you can see, and this is button 3. You can see I can hold on, click. That will out of in 1 second. You can see on and off, on, off, on, delay one time, 1 second, off. So this I have used this momentary for the work mode. And here you can see I can press this button 4. Is on, off, and button 5, on, off, But this button can't let the relay work at the same time or is on. You can see I can press this relay is on, but this time I press button 5. The button 5 is relay is on, and the button 4 is auto off. So you can see change. Every relay 5 and 4 can't work at the same time. You can turn on and turn off independently, but you can't let these two relay is work or is on. So this called interlock mode. So that is for curtain for motor, because the motor's one can't all connect with your power supply for 200 volts and 110 volts. So this is for interlock. So this I have showed you this 1, 2, 3, 4 work mode of the buttons. I have used this button, but you can also use this button on the PCB board. You can see this is button 1 off, and the button 2 is inch mode, and the button 3 you can see that is button 3 is auto off, that will auto off, and the button 4 that is for interlock, and the button 6 just for on and off. So this we have defined this button and also used for this button on the PCB board. This is easy for you to testing. Maybe your switch is broke, or maybe your network cable is disconnected. But this time you want to turn on relay and turn off relay, so you can press this button on the PCB board. That will be easy to use. Okay, this is how to use the switch and how to use the button for different work mode. But you can also use this remote. Because this board have 16 channel, you can use this one remote that have 16 button. Also, you can use any different buttons remote, different brand of the company's remote integrate with this E16 board S. So that will be you can define any remote button for turn on which relay is on, which relay is off, which relay is toggling, just by your code, and you can set by the ESPHome. You can see here the Home Assistant dashboard. We have set the different buttons. You can see here we have used the launch mode and the inch mode and momentary mode and the interlock mode. And in Home Assistant, you can see this you can manually control by the PC. And if I can turn on all relay, you can see here the output 3 is also will auto off. And this channel 4 and channel 5 auto is interlock mode, so will not work at the same time, these two buttons. I can turn off, pay attention to this output 3, you can see 3 is on, but 1 second delay time, that will be auto off. I can turn on again, turn on, and auto off. So this is for delay, and this 4 and 5 will not work at the same time. And here you can see that is the input, digital input of this button, just the 16 channel input. When I press this button, you can see this will be on, that you can use for binary sensor. So you can also connect with this terminal with your sensor, such as door sensor or smoke sensor, gas sensor, many dry contact output sensor. And you can see I can 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So and until the 16 channel input, you can see here is on when I press this button. When I release it, that will be off. So in ESPHome, we can configure the input and work with the output. That will be have very powerful function. So you can see, just click ESPHome, and we can configure the E16S. Just edit, and you will see some sentence. If you want to configure the input one, this button one for launch mode, so you can see we can find out the input one. That's just this sentence. When unpress this button input one, that will toggle the output one. So only 3 sentences you will be set. I can zoom out. This will be let input 1 and toggling the output 1. Okay, let's look at the input 2. That is for inch mode. So when I press this button input 2, that will be on, and remove this finger will be off. So we just add these 2 sentences. Unpress, that is also as seen. Just that will be unpress and unrelease these 2 sections. This is only one section, just the ESPHome wants to know when you press this button. But this just need to add when you release the button. So when you press, that will be switch will be turned on the output 2. And when release the finger, that will be switch off. That will be output 2. So this is for set for this input 2, just a button 2. Okay, let's look at the button 3. You can see here the button 3. The button 3, that is momentary, that will out of in 1 second. And in this section also is unpress this toggling this output 3. But we just set the output 3. You can see here. That output 3 defined from the switch will have this sentence. When this is turned on, that will delay 1 second. That will be out of the output 3. So this sentence is set for out of for this terminal. Okay, let's look at the 4 and 5, the interlock mode. You can see here is output 4, because this define that is for the switch. You can see here the switch. So you want the output 4 and interlock with the output 5. These 2 relay will not work at the same time, so you just add this sentence. That will be interlock with this which one? That is output 5. So this ID just fill in these sections. So that will interlock relationship the 4 with the 5. And also you can see here have defined the switch output 5, add the interlock sentence. That will interlock relationship with the output 4. So this have linked the 4 and 5 in interlock mode. So you can see here in our form, I have noted that for the launch mode, just these 3 sentences, and inch mode for this sentence, just for unpress and unrelease. And this is for momentary, just out of. So you can define the switch, you can just add this delay sentence. And this is interlock mode, work mode. That will be just insert these 2 sentences for relationship of the interlock. So that will be very easy, and define your different input for different output with which work mode. And when you define, you can see here I can use by the Home Assistant dashboard. You can turn on and turn off. It's very easy. And also you can see I can use this switch button. But maybe you will ask whether it look according to the network cable. If this board without internet, without network cable, whether can running, I think I can tell you it's no problem. That is working locally. I have used this USB cable, downloaded the freeware from the Case868 server, because that have a Raspberry Pi inside. And also I have connected with the Ethernet cable. This cable, Ethernet cable, and this network, all in one local network. And this time you can see I can turn on, turn off by this button. Okay, let's look. Remove this USB cable. That not need to download now. So you can see I remove this USB, and you can see the button is on and off. And the Home Assistant dashboard also will update the on and off. And you can see here when I remove this network cable, I can remove it. This no network cable. And this Home Assistant, you can see I can turn off, turn on, nothing will not work. And but this time, if you press this button, you can see also is work. So this is work in locally without network. And 2-inch and momentary. This is momentary and inch and interlock. So now I have no any network cable. Just I have this DC-12 power supply. And I also can use this switch. So this is work for the locally. And now you can see the Home Assistant that is all is unavailable. So because there's no network. But this time we have reconnected this network cable. Maybe your network cable is disconnected. And I have connected again. And you can see the Home Assistant will update right now. So you can see now I can also turn on and turn off from the Home Assistant. And all off, and all on, and all off, and all on. So this is very powerful. I think you can define this input channel for any sense mode and for any automation by the ESPHome. And every A-series board of Kinko's product have the input terminal you can use, so that you can define your own sense mode. Okay, this is how to define the work mode of the button and the input, the digital input. Okay, thanks for watching.